Not quite the entertaining intro that you get off everybody else, but it's there nonetheless. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Grant from Nerdy Up North Team Podcast, going back to where my streams all started with Hades. Not just going back to the game. Anybody that's watched this before will know that I tend to make Hades look pretty easy. But Hades is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. So, I'm going to do a quick run through for old time's sake. And then, this looks like I was midway through a game there. I'll start it back from the house. I am indeed midway through a game. I'll get rid of that one. Back to the House of Hades we go. So I'm going to start a game from the beginning. And because this is an RNG game with an absolutely excruciating level up system, you'll be able to see just how weak your character is at the beginning of the game and how much work you've actually got to put into leveling them up. Which one do I want? Magnetized cutter, obviously. If anybody is listening and would care to comment on my volume levels, that would be pretty cool, because I am the king of sound issues. Especially once I start the combat in this game, it gets pretty loud. So let's just go for... I don't know what to go for. I'll go with that one. And no, I definitely don't want the sword. Give me my fists back. Cheers, Lee. Once I start the combat, mate, if I do start to get a little bit drowned out, if you could kindly let me know. So I'm going to try a favoured build, because I don't think I've ever managed to get what I would regard as my perfect build for the fists on the stream. So let's hope we get lucky. I don't have any attempts at heat on, thankfully. Heat being one of the ways that you can increase the difficulty in this. Oh, Hades, you're such a dick. Yeah, I've never managed to get like my perfect build. To be fair, I think I've only ever had my perfect build twice in this game. Yeah, why not, mate? I want everything inflicting doom, because doom is stackable damage on what is a pretty frenzied attack with these fists. Now you see, that's going to be an interesting one as well, unless you've seen me do Twitch Plays Hades, where I used to put it out to the chat to make the decisions for me. Yeah, man. The chat, oh, thank you, Aphrodite. I do like having Aphrodite on my dash. Yeah, unless you've ever tuned into the times that I did do Twitch Plays Hades, where I was letting the chat dictate my choices whenever the gods bless me. then you won't have seen us really use any other weapon other than the fists, because it is my favourite. Oh, sweet Aphrodite. Yes, definitely. There we go. Passion dash is what I want. Means when I dash into my opponents, I'm automatically going to weaken them. So if they do land any hits on me, they're not going to deal as much damage. Now what I want to try and avoid from here is... I definitely want to avoid putting anything on my cast. Because I'm going to attempt to get Zeus on my cast on the next level. So I basically want to try and do this level without any ranged attack whatsoever. Because Zeus's weird little lightning ping pong balls. Oh my word, it is being kind. It is being kind. I wouldn't mind having Ares on my normal attack with his stackable damage, but Dionysus also does stackable damage of a different kind. And there's a chance that I will get quite a big bonus later on in the game, where one stackable damage, it doesn't quite multiply against the other one, but they affect each other. I just don't want him on my cast. Will take him on my special though. Ooh. Now, bearing in mind I've got at least 3 fountains to drink from between now and the last level. Do I gamble on it? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, so that's at least a 12% accumulating damage bonus. And more, because that's a fountain right there, even though I don't need it. Look at... Oh, it's going to be so nice to me. Oh, I'm going to be able to do this. You know what? I'm not going to curse myself by saying that. Although... it's almost like the game's listening to me today. It knows. It knows I'm going to start again. It's sad that I'm doing so. It knows that that might be the last time I ever play on this save game. So it's given me everything that I want. So what I am going to do if I start a new game as well, and it's epic as well. Sorry, that was the item, not me personally. I'm not particularly epic. I don't know why anybody listens to my streams or watches them for that matter. But yeah, on some of my earlier streams, I did at least try to tell some of the old Greek myths as I encountered the various different characters that present themselves throughout the game. So I'm going to do that again, because we'll be encountering people over time. And because we're encountering people over time, as opposed to having them all present all the time the way that I do in this game, means I can spend a little bit more time talking about stuff like the creation myth when I eventually run into the god of chaos, and because we've got Patroclus and Achilles in there, well, I mean, Jesus Christ, if I'm going to tell the story of the Iliad, I'm going to be on all night. But, you know, that could potentially go through some of the stories behind the Trojan War from Homer's epic. Don't get Odysseus. Can't really remember if there's any real relation to the Odyssey. Yeah, I am definitely a creature of the nightly. Always have been. Saying I came through this with no heat. I think I do have heat on. I've got little markers over some of these guys, and it's making them a little bit tougher than they would normally be. Not that it matters. I am an unstoppable killing machine. when it comes to this game. Pomegranate. The only food to grow in the Greek underworld. What am I going to level up? Let's go for my Doom. So I've got Charon's shop over here, or I can give myself some extra health. I'm going to save my gold up for the moment. There's always plenty of opportunities for Charon, and I have got quite a good setup so far. It should be able to breeze me through this first level. I have cursed it now. If anybody checks out my Assassin's Creed Odyssey stream, I got a little bit bored with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so I put Hades on after that. But I'd been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey for so long I'd forgotten the bloody controls, and the game decided to nerf me out a little bit. On top of that, it wasn't a fun time. I think it's the only time I've ever died on Hades. Even when Twitch plays Hades was a thing. The bastards in the chat didn't manage to nerf me to the point where I actually died, if I remember rightly. Pomegranate's the only one to grow in the Greek underworld. There's no real kind of sort of deeper myth behind it other than... Well, I mean, there might be. You know, I'm by no means an expert on all the Greek myths because there's so many different variants of them. From the way that the Athenian gods kind of spurned cults in Hellenistic Greece. Actually, before Hellenistic Greece. There was cults for quite some time, but they tended to be more favourable of certain deities after a certain point. So there might be a story about it in there. But basically, pomegranates are hard as fucking nails, dude. You know, they got those thick skins on them, so with regards to the fruit that was growing around the Mediterranean at the time, you know, oranges and apples and all manner of summer fruits that are pretty easy to get into. Pomegranates were seen almost as armor-plated, and therefore kind of suggested they would be the only thing that could survive in the underworld. It's the reason that Princess Persephone ended up down there, because when she visited the underworld, she ate 7 pips from a pomegranate. Anybody that watched my Dante's Inferno stream would have heard me whinging on about the Christians copying the Greeks, because in Dante's Inferno, the game, they use the pomegranates to signify Beatrice's character succumbing to Satan. So yeah, that's a thing. What have I got? 327. I've got 275 to buy there to level me up a little bit. I will do both of them. So we'll get a health boost. Maximum health now up. And yeah. Let's have Rapey Uncle Zeus as well. Definitely have more bouncing lightning. And then we go to one of the 3 Fury sisters. Megara's the hottest one. No, oh no, Electo. Electo was a pain in the ass. This is why it's been giving me everything that I wanted, because Electo is the toughest of the 3 Fury sisters. Towards the end of her health bar, you can see her rage bar going up now. She basically unleashes the same kind of attacks that you get out of Ares, the god of war, on this, which is who I got my Doom off. I've just realised I didn't check the mirror either when I first started this, so I don't actually know what setup I'm playing with. The mirror, the darkness mirror, is your primary way of leveling your character up in the early part of the game, and it's got, is it 24 different variables that'll affect your gameplay style. But I mean, that wasn't exactly that difficult, was it? I wasn't really paying attention there, you know. At one point I was fighting thin air because I didn't realise she'd moved. And this damage boost is going to be tidy. I'm now going to get 16% overall damage just for completing the levels. I've got, let's see, I've got Ares. I've got my 3 favourites there basically already. So you got to think about odds in this game as well because it's RNG. I've only got 2 slots left to fill. So realistically, I'm always going to be able to escape a god that I don't want by choosing something that's not one of my primary weapons. So I'm going to go with Athena. It's not normally my way to play defense. Or I could go for critical hits with Artemis. Yes, I'm going to go for critical hits with Artemis. I'm already playing a little bit defensively. I normally haven't even leveled my health up at this stage. So, in fact, most of the time I don't even level my health up at all. I tend to play glass cannon builds if I've got... I learned that term off my son. If I am going to play this fast, high damage, with more urge to dodge than to block. I am not a blocker at all. You can't actually block in this game. Well, you can with one weapon. Don't step on the lava, Grant. Where you at? Buggers jump around all over the place. Slay to retrieve. Oh, I will slay. So we'll get my ranged one up a little bit because I am going to encounter a load of witches. At some point, it's been witch light so far, and it will always stitch you up with one that is just what my esteemed colleague, Mr. Burton Stoker, would refer to as bullet hell. I mean, let's face it, if Thanatos was going to lead you over the threshold into death, you'd probably let him. He's a pretty boy. So my objective here is to beat death, which I should be able to do pretty easily. (9-3). I've done better. That's not a particularly nice level though. It's not the easiest one to navigate. More max health. So up here, Daedalus Hammer, father of Icarus, built the wings that allowed them to escape the Minotaur's labyrinth. And this will change something primary about theirs, the fucking witches. So it'll change the dynamic, perhaps, of one of my attacks. It might turn my uppercut into like a kick attack. It might increase its range. It might make it unblockable. It might stitch me up completely and give me 3 options that will change my basic attacking structure so severely compared to how I normally play the game that I'll end up being completely nerfed. That might make this one a little bit more interesting. Wouldn't it be just so cool if it gave me my perfect build and then didn't give me the basic attack that I wanted? So that's definitely the one I didn't want. Heavy Knuckle slows me down. Attack has more range and deals 10% damage. After using my special, deal 90 damage in an area where I land. I'll take that because I'm very fond of the uppercut. And we'll jump into Artemis. The Sisters of Artemis cult were basically lesbians. You know, just kind of banded together and lived out in the forest and didn't need men and did a bloody good job of it. Oh, forget about that stupid blue thing. You'll give a shield to all of my other enemies that are on the screen at the time. What I would have loved, because it comes in extremely handy in the last level, is it would have given me what's called Draining Cutter. It means every time I kill something with my uppercut, it would heal me. There is still a chance that it'll give me that on my attack if I get a second one. So. The check out Rick and Morty. We'll take the critical chance. I'm still hoping that Zeus... Well, you know what? Oh, and another fountain. It's tanking me. Fire and Forget. Pretty much on my ranged attack now. It'll bounce 8 times, so no matter what direction I fire it in, it's gonna hit something. That was one. That I did not wish to do. Probably best that I fire those when there's actually enemies about for them to home in on, really. Not quite giving me a witch bullet hell that I'm accustomed to. There are times on this level where it'll fill this with like 20 of them and it just becomes completely inescapable. Ares will give me dodges. That'll level up what I've already got. Or I can take a chance on Charon's shop. I'm not too bothered about being much faster. Oh, it's taken me through this level very quickly. Let's up me critical chance. Don't normally play it to criticals. So we should be embarking on the Bone Hydra now. Bone. Look at that fucking health bar disappear. I'm fairly certain at some point I will get the either the Ares or Dionysus stack on my my standard attack. I mean, to be fair, even if I don't, I mean my attack at the moment, the main one that I'm using, doesn't really have anything except the damage boost on it. and it's still cutting through the enemies. So once I get something assigned to it, it should be pretty easy to just get on through this. Oh, still got a couple of Hydra heads over here. I thought I'd cut through these. Obviously not. Let that doom stack up there. And he's off. And another fountain. Henching me up even more. So... God. Demeter? Or I could go for Poseidon. I've already got Zeus in amongst the mix. Let's get a bit of Athena in there. Athena tends to be deflection and like damage resistance and that kind of stuff, but she does have some good, what I called secondary boons. You've seen me take a few already. I like that one there, and well, basically all of these. Am I going to take a chance on Daldas Hammer? Yes, I am. Daldas Hammer can absolutely screw you over if you're not careful. But I'm feeling lucky. Where's this other witch? Oh, there she is. Bloody shield guys are a pain. But when I've got all this damage that will stack up on them. To be fair, so are these little chariot things. Let's see what happens. That's a hell of a choice right there. Might seem a little silly, but you'll notice I'm dashing into pretty much every attack. So any enemies that I get with armor, yellow bars, it means I'm going to take that armor straight out as well. You know, I can't remember the last time I got that this far in the game without having all of my base abilities already in place. So the little bags that these guys are turning into, the little floating things, basically if I don't kill them when they're like that, if they collide with one of the weapons that's been left by a slain enemy, they come back to life. Shouldn't have run into that trap. Not my smartest move. Let's see what Athena's going to give me. Now you see, that's an interesting one. because it's such a frenzied attack, a lot of people would probably, a lot of hardened Hades players would probably shoot me for saying this, but Athena on your attack on the fists I find quite good, because as you go storming in, you deflect projectiles. So anything that's shooting at you, you just fire it back at people. Yeah. I'll take that. Ooh. Ares and Dionysus or Zeus. Now, if I take this one, I get one gift straight away, and then I've got to fight enemies while the other god tries to kill me with their special move. I can think of worse levels to do it on than this bridge one. A nice big open circle to play with. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of revenge damage. I mean, Dionysus and Zagreus, as far as some of the mythology is concerned, are actually the same person. So as far as hanging out with myself is concerned, it's not an entirely bizarre set of circumstances. I'm not even going to go into the Zagreus-Dionysus story just yet. I think I've told it before. Hit the wrong button there. I do have another one of them. So... I could have done with a better one than that. That's really the first dud boon that I've been sold so far. Just because I'm already pretty tanked up by my standards. Ah, the Bull of Minos. So this is the Minotaur from the Labyrinth. Or potentially his dad, because the Bull of Minos was the cow that the Minoan queen seemingly had sex with. Again, depends on which version of the stories we're talking about, because a lot of them have many different interpretations. See, most of the old Minoan myths then became Greek myths. So... I haven't got anybody watching at the minute. Not sure. It'll be up on YouTube anyway, so... Yeah, let's up that critical damage. More health? God. If it had given me a boon for half of the health that I've already picked up. You see that armor disappear on my little shield guy there. It was not a fun time for him. And then stacking up the Doom with that uppercut. Here we are with balls of butterflies. Greeks used to believe that butterflies were they souls travelling to the afterlife? Or was it... Is that how... I can't... That's one that I can't quite remember. I'll find that one out for the next episode, though. There is something to do with the Greek afterlife that... circulates around butterflies. I can't remember if it's that they are like how the souls in the fields of Elysium kind of manifest themselves, or if it's, you know, like You know, kind of like when people say that if you see a robin, you know, it's a dead relative coming to visit and all that kind of stuff. I think it might have been that the Greeks had a similar kind of vibe going on with butterflies. If anybody's watching and they care to correct me on that one, please feel free, because if it's not obvious from what I'm saying, I can't remember 100%. Not sure how loud my volume is, but you might have heard him shout, "Oh, that one just fully rearmed." Like this guy down in the bottom right. That's what I meant about them coming back to life if I don't dispatch of them quick sharp. All the options. I do have dozens of these things though. Let's see if I can't make it something better. And give me more healthy elixir, if nothing else. You can see me starting to knock some of these purple arrows that are getting fired out of the walls back at my enemies. Like that. And that is the advantage of Athena on your main attack. It's not as fun as some of the other effects, but I think I'm making it work alright. Get out. Take a moment to appreciate the funky bassline. Come on then, let's get stuck into Charon's shop. I'm in a hurry and I want to show you guys how this game starts. Even though it is RNG, Charon's shop does tend to pop up as quite frequently the last stop before a boss. God gauge partly full will definitely do me. Let's go and slap Theseus and his mate all over. Asterius being his mate. The one thing we've really had so far that might let me down the later this one's going is I've not had a lot of leveling up on my abilities. I've got a good set of abilities, but they're all still at sort of level 1, level 2. I've got to hope for some pomegranates in this last level, basically. Because I'm about to get to the mouth of the Styx, which is the last level of the game. I always end up taking Asterius out first. Very, very rare that I get Theseus first. But there he goes. Come on. Don't tell me I'm walking out without thanking him. There we go. The good shade. That'll be my last damage boost. No, do I get one more? Fairly certain I get one more before the end. Let's take a moment to... Eurydice. Sweet Eurydice. Whilst I don't think I'm dealing enough damage to pull it off. That one right there, I have once managed to actually kill Hades. Well, you don't kill him, because you're already in the underworld. You can't kill that, which is already dead. What do you mean, Lee? Like the title? Hold on. In the end of the game. Oh, right. So, yeah, it's part of the reason that I'm going to go back and start a new one, dude. This game is very, very quick run-throughs. This is the last level. It doesn't take very long to get there once you're leveled up. But leveling up is the hard part, which is why I'm going to go and start the game again in a minute. I'm basically going to beat up my dad. Oh! Okay, so I asked for pomegranates, and it has given me pomegranates. I'll tell you what, I'll make it last a little bit longer, and I'll do all of these. It has, however, only given me... Let's get a switch on that one. And... yeah, that could make life interesting. Okay, so we'll go money first. I'm going to do all 5 of these. I'm going to... Rats with poison are a pain in the ass. This is what I meant about in the last level wanting that draining cutter. Means when I'm in these dank little dungeons like this, I could use the draining cutter to continually heal myself. Basically willingly back myself into a corner, let the enemies come to me, and just let that area of attack that I've got on it do all of the damage. But it's not like I'm not going to complete this game. You know, even if I got absolutely nerfed in the remainder. There's one that I've noticed as well. There has not been a lot of gold lying around on this game. I'm smashing vases up there. If you see a gold vase, it's normally got about 50 gold in it. So yeah, these little rats here are how you would maintain your health. Is you just draw them in with the magnet and then heal off them. It's going to throw something terrible at me here. What's that? Bigger rat. Bigger rat I can live with. These buggers, however, satyrs, the giant cocked half-horse warriors that Dionysus led to try and conquer India. I kind of went off on a tangent there. I forgot what I was talking about. let's get my special up. Let's have that one as well. Definitely take extra God gauge. So yeah, when I restart, you'll see what I mean. It's like I say, once you can get through the game, it's quick to get through it. You know, people playing this on PC are clocking the entire game in like 20 minutes. Once you get to this stage, but the problem with the game, well, it's not a problem. The beauty of the game is getting to this stage. Get out. Oh, please, man. Just give me some gold. I want more pomegranates. Pomegranates are nice. Tasty. Yeah, say it as fire poison at you, but possibly the advantage of having Athena deflect on my main attack here is that nothing of that variety can really get through. So not too bothered about critical damage versus armor, I don't think. Yeah, I'm firing those things about. So I could go to the boss battle here. In fact, I think I will. I could, alternatively, absolutely tank the living daylights out of myself. But there will be time for that later. Who's a good boy? Cerberus ran away. Where could he be? He's back at my house. You see Cerberus's bed. You're right, Dad.
You would attack me with the savagery of the twin fists. Then come.
Ooh. You know if Donna was watching, she'd be laughing her head off at that. Why Thanatos spawned over there is beyond me. You're not a helpful god of the dead. Am I actually starting to take any damage yet? Yes, it would appear that I am. I say god of the dead, he's not the god of the dead. Hades, well, Hades is the god of the underworld. Thanatos is more... kinda... not even Grim Reaper-y, because Charon's Grim Reaper. It's kind of the god of death, as opposed to the dead. And try and get my god gauge all the way up so I can give him full Zeus. He would go bloody invulnerable. So, fair warning as well, with me starting a new game. Not that it's boring, but... well, you'll see the agony for one thing, but it's gonna take me a while to get back here, guys. So take me back to the start.
Neglected to avoid stepping on a toxic strain of fungus, so rare you'd not have heard of it. How?
So here comes a new game, kids. And play it for about another hour, I think.
Would that all my subjects exhibited such promptness? Your report, then, if you please, do, sir.
Sir, the office currently is running smoothly, sir. Lounge attendance is up at 28% with customer satisfaction ratings in the 80th percentile.
See that we achieve 30% before the turn of the eon, Chief Custodian. Other than that,
She's got this. Finding old Falk is nice to you at least, isn't it, boy?
He's a good boy. Tickly spot. Yeah. So. Let's quit. And as the stream said, let's go back to the start. No, let's not go with hell mode just yet.
few tales are told of Hades, whose very name inspires fear and penitence, reminding us of the inevitable fate which we all share. I, however, mean to tell you such a tale. Listen carefully.
Meet Zagreus, attempting to escape Tartarus for the first time.
To hell with this place. I'm leaving. Try and stop me. Crashed.
You see, we didn't get a weapon choice. We've got the aspect of Zagreus, which is a sword.
There she is. It's got to be her. Then here goes nothing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Hail, noble cousin. Now, let's get you from that miserable place. I'll see that all of us upon Olympus do our part, beginning here with me.
You know, the goddess of wisdom.
I know you can't
Let's take her on the strike.
our goddess, but thank you. Come on then. Pathetic. For the mirror, each exit has its own reward.
I mean, I'm trying to play this as if I stand even the slightest chance of even getting past, even getting to the first boss. To be fair, just want to quickly check something. Yes, God mode is off. So God mode down here. There we go. Instantly makes me tougher whenever I die. So outside of the standard level up system, God mode incrementally makes you more damage resistant every time you die. I'm going to play it without God mode. Now that is not some purist thing. As anybody that plays Hades will tell you, if you're going to play it to enjoy it, you know, play it with God mode. You know what I mean? It's not about that. But I did enjoy the experience of trying to play this without God mode enabled the first time I played it. It makes it excruciatingly hard.
They're armored. Right there.
I've got my boy Ares up in here. The god of war. Athena was also a goddess of war, but Athena was more the goddess of tactics, whereas Ares was more towards being the god of the violence of war. One of the things that you might be noticing if you watched the previous stream, well, not the previous stream, my previous run through, which I was only doing like 10 minutes ago.
This one was bound to show up, I guess. In the name of Hades.
I'm taking considerably more damage, is where I was going with that.
You've got quite the fighting spirit in you there, I have to say. Most intriguing, and yet no surprise for someone born in hell itself. You come on out of there and tell me all about it. I'm a fellow student of death, you see.
More bloodshed then.
There's stuff that I've been generally ignoring and being a bit pissed off at getting, like the darkness, which are those little purple crystals, and gems and keys and whatnot. Now that I'm back to the start of the game, have quite a pivotal role in being able to level me up. So I'm going to try and keep these earlier runs as entertaining as I can. So I will still be trying to go to boons, even if it does take me a little bit longer to get to the end. That's if I decide to play this save game again. Anybody that does actually want to see me do a run-through of Hades, yeah, I'll leave some comments or something like that. I'm more than happy to do it if people are going to watch. This looks like it might be the level that I lose on. The other one, you can see that I've only got one ranged spell now, as opposed to the 3 that I was rocking in my previous run through. The boss fight. It's bold trying a boss fight. Well, that's obvious. Oof. Did not want to get caught in there.
That was
It's getting close.
a good time.
Hey there, Zag man, how's it going? Look, you have got to get here with the rest of us already. We've been saving you a spot. Let me see what I can do. Make life a little sweeter for you in the meantime.
Leave it to the god of wine to liven things up around here.
10 health left.
Can't heal myself, but I can fight. Wretches.
Bloody witches. I think now it's just a case of how long I can make 5 health last.
Just getting started.
Gets tense. And there we go. Who would have thought you would see me die in Tartarus?
Damn it. I'm home. Yes, carry on, everyone. Don't mind me.
Hello?
Okay, so
Welcome to the House of Hades.
Hypnos.
Wait, I know you. Guess that means you died out there, huh? Well, don't be sad, though. Pretty much everybody dies sometime.
Cheers, Hypnos.
And others.
Back already.
You've returned.
Hypnos is the god of sleep. One of the children of Nyx. The goddess of darkness. And up. I've got a couple of things that I can just kind of rush through,
How goes it, Shanes?
explaining a little bit about the dead souls that are wandering around. Let's have a word with me dad. You notice how little there is in here now.
Stupid boy. I told you nobody gets out of here, whether alive or dead. So how was your wanton ransacking of my domain?
Greetings, Father. My ransacking was a delight, thank you for asking. So I'll just be on my way again.
Be on your way indeed. What do I care? You shall never reach the surface. Go, see for yourself.
Have words with these first few guys.
Good to see you, lad.
Achilles.
Circumstances
is for the weak. Take care, Achilles.
So basically, Achilles has been kind of training me how to fight down here. You get that in the next 2 or 3 speeches. And then this is Nyx. Goddess of the Night.
Child, such setbacks are inevitable and may be overcome with effort and with time. We made contact with the goddess Athena. She shall be true to her word.
I believe it, Nyx. I'm grateful that you put us into contact. I know you took a considerable risk in reaching out.
The risk is not to me. I expected the Olympians would involve themselves in this eventually. Reveal to them no more than they already know. Are we understood?
Yes, we are.
Then go.
And we have some mystique. It doesn't just give it away straight away. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the award that this game won. It got Game of the Year during lockdown. And it won a sci-fi literature award in a new computer gaming category.
I'm back.
And it beat up some incredible games like Last of Us and others. The narrative behind this game, once you get into it, is jaw-droppingly good. So, the Mirror of the Night.
Night and darkness guide me.
This is what I meant. Now, I did say there were more of these. The keys unlock the levels. So, got the option to deal bonus damage, restore a little bit of health, come back to life, or additional dashes. So let's try come back to life. Death Defiance.
The power of night. Okay.
You can see, I've only got my sword. And
Nothing here yet.
that doesn't look very plentiful compared to the last game, does it? Let's do this properly.
I can do this. First get past the wretched shades of Tartarus. Easier said than done. And doubtless I'll be running into Meg. The River of Flame ought to be just beyond. Find a way up to Elysium from there, and after that... Alright, let's give it another shot. I can escape from the courtyard back there.
So I'm going to stick with my sword, because I don't have an option to do anything else,
Again.
with a tiny little bit of level up. And look where I am. What I meant about it being difficult is every time you die, you go back to the start.
In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
And here is rapey Uncle Zeus.
Greetings there, young man. Look, your father's always been rather difficult, and he's not so much as called in quite some time. You'll have a better home where you belong, here on Olympus. And to help you on your journey, have my blessing.
Zeus famously impregnated the mother of Perseus
Old Uncle Zeus lending his
via a golden shower.
never thought I'd see the day. Or night. Whenever.
Ho, ho, ho. No, he is not Santa Claus.
Composed of such innumerable, ever-shifting, interlocking chambers, the underworld of Lord Hades.
Good thing I'm not dead.
Basically telling you that Tartarus is an ever-shifting labyrinth. Which is why it's supposed to be inescapable. So obviously there was a few famous examples in mythology of people that did escape Tartarus and cheat death and whatnot. But we will cross that bridge when we come to those people, boys and girls. Because we're going to meet them all.
Don't keep me waiting.
For the record, I've never actually started a new game on this, like, since I started playing it. The save game that you see me playing on, previously was kind of split into two halves.
This message.
Yeah, like, there was tense. As I did the first part in God mode, and then once I'd basically done everything in God mode, without God mode, then I turned God mode on, which is why if you take special care and attention at the end, none of my stats match up. It'll say that I've escaped so many times, but the total number of escapes doesn't add up to that. That's because my total is God mode and non-God mode enabled, whereas the individual stats will only show how I've done it in that particular state of the game. So you might see the gold counter at the bottom. The gold does not accumulate. Every time I die, I leave my gold behind in hell. And I don't get to go and pick it up either. One of the dirty thieving shades and demons
Not yet.
and whatnot obviously come along and pick it up again. So I can go and stick it in vases. Be interesting to see how far I get, though, because obviously, because I've only ever done this game once, I had... Oh my god, what was that? Okay, well this ain't going much further. Am I going to do these guys with one health? No, I'm not. Oh, I forgot I had a Death Defiance already. Okay, yes I am.
That's what she was only one heavenly archer I know of. Well, several.
I heard about you. Look, I'm not like all the others on Olympus. The power of the hunt helps keep me company, so maybe it'll help you too.
The power of the hunt sounds like good company to keep.
Let's get a bit of a health boost.
They got me. No way to patch up. Gotta
You
keep going.
really think you can get out of here?
Me dar's a bit of a divvy like.
Caught me.
Trying to take out these exploding barrels before they take me out. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So these ones where that happens, you can see a timer up in the top left. It will basically continually respawn enemies until that timer runs out. So it's just a case of surviving.
Peace and witches.
Get all of these taken out before they start shooting shit at me. Because when there's too many of them, it is pretty much undodgeable. I've forgotten how tense this game is early on. I don't have enough to buy anything from Charon, so let's get a little level up on what I already do have. And you see, ordinarily, like in, well, not ordinarily, but in my first run through of this game, a set of 3 enemies like this would have probably been what would have taken me out, if not before. I mean, it's quite likely going to happen, but obviously now I know my combat structure and I know my weapons a little bit better. I'm probably going to fare a little bit better than I did in my first run. Historically, anyway. As I've said time and time again on the Hades streams, the wonderful thing about this game is that sometimes it will just fuck you for no reason.
A palm of power. Palmed up.
Yeah, we're down to 4. Probably only got this dungeon and maybe another couple left in me, depending on what it spawns.
This can unlock something back home.
Get up, you fat bastard. A clothesline as well. And I'll get just a little bit stronger and unlock just a little bit more.
Aw, one of those wretched louts just killed you dead that time. Those mean old slappy guys? Maybe try killing them beforehand. I don't know.
Well, thank you, Hypnos.
Right.
Keep at it, lad. I've known great men throughout my life, and I can always tell when someone's better than their circumstances. Fight like I'd fight out there.
I'll give them hell as you once did Achilles. Though doubtless many of the shades who stand against me first arrived in Tartarus because of you.
For those of you that don't know the Iliad, do I start on the Iliad? I don't really think I've got long enough. So the most famous tale of Achilles is the Iliad, the Siege of Troy. And Achilles is the mightiest of mighty warriors.
Someone's at the desk next to the throne.
So this allows me, using gems, to customize the house.
Who's that sniveling shade to your immediate left there, Father? Already found someone new to do the busy work.
Yeah, basically. So anyway, back to Achilles. So yeah, after Helen was, well, let's face it, it was taken captive. because the ancient Greeks did have a naughty habit of trying to romanticize kidnap. Taken by Paris back to Troy, the king of Sparta, along with Agamemnon, who was kind of not, I wouldn't necessarily say the king of Greece, but he succeeded in uniting all of the Greek areas under one fighting force in order to go and attempt to get Helen back and sack Troy. And after much begging and pleading, he managed to get Achilles on side, but Agamemnon and Achilles didn't like each other very much. Because Achilles was a rogue and the strongest warrior in the world, and Agamemnon was a king and the most powerful man in the world.
You have outgrown this house. Of that I am now certain. Should you return again here, I shall keep you safe.
I won't forget you, Nyx, I swear it.
And, you know, Achilles, well, I won't give away too much of the Iliad just yet. Let's face it, he's hard as nails. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I can get a teeny little bit stronger again. And I can heal a little bit in between levels. And thus further on we go.
I should go.
So, the shield.
There we go.
First weapon I completed the game with.
Lend me your power.
You've got things at work, I guess. Nice place you got here, boyo. Name's Skelly, how's it going? But enough with the small talk already. I'm here to do a job. So let me have it. Give me everything you got.
Quite why I have an American skeleton in the Greek underworld. Still not sure about.
Having you on payroll, mate. Who's your supervisor?
Oh, I'm not about to wrap my sources, pal. Just try and beat it out of me.
Skelly likes being spanked.
If you insist.
Oh, please.
So, the reason why I completed it with this first is because of that right there. Because that bull rush is also a block. And being able to block in this game comes in very, very handy. It's also got a ranged attack built into it that can get pretty overpowered if you level it up right. So let's have a go with shield.
Alright, one more time. That looks like a Daedalus hammer.
It does.
Enchantments for my weapon. Daedalus, wherever you may be right now, thank you. Whoops.
That's quite a handy level up to get that. An attack from range means my next two attacks deal an additional 80% damage. But basically, I chuck this thing in there, and then run in and do that.
I'll take that.
Oh, I've got 4 people watching now. If anybody else is in the chat, please speak up. If you've previously tuned in for Grant Plays, Twitch Plays Hades, I'm sure I could be talked into another round of that. I'm just showing anybody that's watching how excruciatingly hard Hades is when you first start it. These weird crystals are brimstone. Because what would hell be without a bit of brimstone? Oh, there she is. The lovely Aphrodite. If I can make it through the level, that is. This is the thing when you're this early in the game. Absolutely nothing is set. Nothing is certified other than death. Yes, it is her.
That must be a mess. Let's see here. Hi there. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Call me a godling.
Why, hello, hello there, little godling. I have to say you're quite the specimen, and so I've decided I shall aid you for the moment. You interested?
Interested?
So Aphrodite, according to the Greek creation myth, was created. Yeah, anybody. I had to get him in there. When Uranus's cock was cut off by Kronos and thrown into the sea, the foam from Uranus's cock formed Aphrodite. There's a lot of different gods of like love and sex and what have you when it comes to the Greeks as well. They did love a good bit nakedness. So you also had Eros out there, from which we then get the term erotic and erotica, and Aphrodite and whatnot obviously then evolved into terms like aphrodisiac. So we took a hell of a lot from these guys. They knew what they were talking about. Anybody that's watched the podcast knows I'm an easy man to please. Bit of sex, bit of violence. All it really takes. And the ancient Greeks had that in abundance.
I always come back. Power of the gods.
I don't like Poseidon. I'm an up-close and personal fighter, and all of Poseidon's stuff is knockback damage.
You lads again, huh?
See what I mean about this bull rush now? It is slow going, but it can be very handy. I'm not going to play Boron though. No, I think I've made it pretty obvious the tactic that I used to complete this game the first time right there. And it's not fun to watch. So screw that, because I am here to entertain. Not for you guys to watch me do the same boring move over and over again. Nobody wants to see that. People want to see me die.
That's what you get.
Excruciating ways.
It's uncle number 2. It's got to be. Then, in the name of Hades, Olympus.
Oh, did you think I was a sweet, innocent little flower, did you, Lee?
Ahoy there, little Hades.
Well, it's still Lee, isn't it? Yeah.
We've a lot of catching up to do, but first things first. You get yourself out of that dour underworld. As for me, I'll see if I can stir things up a bit to cover your advance.
Looks like I caught a big one. Power of the sea should
Poseidon's another one that was a bit rapey as well. Funnily enough, Hades is really the only one that wasn't in the grand. I mean, he probably was. In the sense that, every time there's what many might consider romance in Greek mythology, you can probably guarantee that there was some kidnapping and inappropriate sexual behavior involved.
key to a weapon.
Still not got enough money to buy anything. I am summoned by filth. Definitely, dude.
I'm trapped.
If I make it out of this level alive, I'll consider that a win for this run through, because bloody witches this early in the game. Again, I could just go boring and do that, but nobody wants to see that, so... Jesus bloody Christ. Come on, son. Come on. Come on. You got it.
Back to the lowest depths.
There.
Don't be mentioning Jake, dude. You'll summon him with his bonking stick and tell me to stop being dirty. You can't really not be dirty when you're talking about the ancient Greeks. You know, when your creation myth involves Uranus, then what else are you gonna do?
Bottle of nectar. Who should I give this to?
So bottles of nectar can be used as gifts for the people that I meet. I said you're gonna start to see some of the well, not celebrities, but some of the key figures from mythology start to appear as the game progresses. And I'll try and explain best I can who they are and why they are there.
Nix's power.
So far we've got Hypnos,
I wouldn't give us a
one of the children of Nyx, the goddess of the night. We've got Nyx, the goddess of the night.
Cheers, mate.
And we've got Hades so far, and Achilles. So, making it my first end of level boss this soon. I should have talked to Charon there. Charon, Sharon. Call him what you will. This will be Megara.
Well, this is awkward.
Halt, Zagreus. Not one step further.
Come on, Meg. Haven't we had more than enough of each other by now? Besides, don't you have someplace else to be?
Your father sent me. All in all, I'd rather be on your bad side than his. Now you can turn back, like a good little man, or I can send you home the painful way. What'll it be?
The painful way, please.
I'll have to go with the pain.
A man out. Get the hell out of here. That's just not enough. I'm not finished yet. Ahead, Zagreus.
Is always going to happen. A semi-hopeful there that I might be able to tactically beat Meg But at this stage in the game, I literally cannot inflict enough damage.
Cheers for that, man.
And damage is an inevitability in this game.
Hypnos must be on break.
Forget something again. Infernal watchdog Cerberus regards the underworld prince with mixed emotions, from purest joy to deepest melancholy.
Right there, you've got the personification of most dogs. You know, up the back there, you've got, you know, the ferocious guard dog and the beastie. Then you've got fun in the middle, and then you have got thick as mince at the front.
You watch over things for me, won't you, boy? You know I'd take you if I could. Look what I got for you, boy.
Good boy.
As one of Cerberus's heads receives the prince's gift, another muzzles something back into his hand.
Thank you, boy.
So the little things that I used to buff myself up slightly that we saw
You'll get the hang of it out there, lad.
in my proper run through. I've just unlocked one of them. Can't remember what Cerberus's spike collar does. I'm sure it's health.
What, wait, you're giving me your codex? I can't accept something like this.
Please, I insist. I want your love of history to grow, not just your love of warfare. Besides,
I'm grateful.
Quite a bit of stuff to unlock. What do we do?
Why, I can scarce believe my eyes. Is that you, boy? Cerberus, look who it is. He's back.
Cerberus looks mournfully toward the prince.
No need to drag the dog into this, father.
Anything you say to me, you say in front of Cerberus. You might even learn a thing or two from him of listening and of obedience.
You have met most of your Olympian relatives by now, child. Although the power of their blessings is fleeting here, they shall continue to support you as...
They all still think I'm headed to join them on Olympus. That's why they're helping me.
They are helping you because you are family. Family with whom they do not yet have a complicated past.
It's getting complicated pretty fast.
So I've already been playing the game a little while, and it hasn't even let on as to what the purpose of the game is, other than Hades is my dad, and I'm trying to escape. It knows how to give you the story at the right pacing, this game. Double dash, I'll definitely take. So give it another couple of runs out. One more, I think, and then I'm going to call it a night. But if I do play Hades again, unless I decide I'm doing Twitch Plays Hades, then I will do it on this game. So you all can see what it's like. Yeah, it does give me health.
One more time.
The way that you unlock stuff in this game is pretty bloody random as well. I don't know anybody that's unlocked the game in the same order, because random numbers.
It's a mark, almost like a batwing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept.
Hey boss, found you. Good. Hermes, at your service. Pleasure. You are the talk of Olympus. Normally I wouldn't get mixed up, but for you, I'll be making an exception. Now come.
Appreciate the lift.
Go to triple dash.
Let's go. Fix that for you. Witches. That's for last time.
do like playing this game at speed. You do have some ranged weapons in it. Nobody's really seen me use the ranged weapons on this because I'm useless with them. I think I've maybe got one completion with each of the ranged weapons, and then I just went, you know what, I don't like this. So... very much catch me if you can style build.
Excellent.
And more and more and more darkness. Jake doesn't shut down puns, dude. Jake is puns. It's starting to give me a few different gods and a few different boons here as I'm gradually unlocking them. There are still other gods I've not yet come into contact with, some of which you don't actually see for quite some time in the game.
Himself was speeding you along, except I've not seen him about in been a while, really.
The hunt is on.
Indeed, the hunt is on. It's mental to think I'm actually playing this game cautiously. This is going to be difficult. Doomstone is not an easy boss, especially if he gets too many. It's a stone, idiot. Of these little minion things out that'll fire lasers that lock onto me. They're probably not lasers. Not sure if we had the concept of laser light in 3000 BC, but or if indeed the concept of time operates the same way in the underworld that it does on Earth. With the Greeks it did, from any one of the famous fables of anybody journeying into the underworld. Get a bit of hangover damage on there. Ah! Sisyphus.
Must look like I'm slacking off with the old boulder here, but I was just getting back on my feet. The Fury Sisters don't often leave me be. Where'd they go, anyway? And, what are you doing here?
Oh, you know, just out on a little stroll is all. Do me a favor, though. You see the Fury Sisters, let them know I was headed down the way I came from, will you?
Oh, I'll let let them know, all right? I hear you loud and clear, Your Highness.
Take darkness at this stage.
Cheers, mate.
Don't have the option to speak to Baldy yet. Yeah, so Sisyphus cheated death. One of the people that managed to escape the Greek underworld, he died. And when he got to the underworld, he convinced Hades to let him come back to life to have some loose ends, you know, take care of his affairs and what have you. And Hades, not being the sharpest tool in the shed, said yes. And unsurprisingly, Sisyphus did a runner. And had to be killed again. And when he returned to the underworld, his punishment was that he had to push a boulder up a mountain for all eternity.
Cheers to that. Why, good to see you, Charon, mate. Just minding my own business, taking in the sights, and sure is awfully convenient to be running into you like this. And all this coin I wanted to get rid of.
The Infernal.
That will be me.
Charon is, of course, the boatman for the River Styx. Anybody that's ever seen Clash of the Titans, Charon is the boatman that they summon in order to be taken to Medusa's lair. Whether Medusa's lair, so to speak, actually existed in the underworld or not remains a point of contention, or whether it was in fact a place. There's a lot of like really, really desiccated. I'll tell you what, this is probably going to kill me, but let's do this one. You know, really messed up islands in the Greek island chain. Obviously, a few of them erupted during the time that these myths were written. So it could have originated from God knows how many places.
Forgive me, Lady Artemis.
Very surprised I managed to get through that. Tension me up okay here. I might. Maybe not. Let's give a gift to Athena.
I'm indebted to you, goddess, for all that you and your side of the family have done.
Well, it simply isn't in my nature to allow such offerings to go unanswered.
Lady Athena, thank you.
So these first gifts are what get me the God Keepsake pendants, which will then allow me to ensure that they are the first powers that I get. Let's try a bit of damage resistance. See, that's enough to get me past Meg. I will be killing the stream after this, guys. Thank you to Lee for tuning in, because he's been the only person in the chat. But I do know that there's been a few people lurking. Anybody that's watching it back as well, if you do want to tune into this or any other of our gaming streams, subscribe to Nerdy Up North Twitch. We've got a nice healthy mix. You get me telling boring tales about Greek mythology, like the stuff that you used to have to listen to at school. You get Jake doing some awesome retro gaming. Occasionally we get the dirty boys of Jake and Goodwill up on the streams, hosing each other down with their powerful jets. Goodwill does also like a good shovel, ladies and gentlemen. Any game, really, where you get to hit something with a shovel, Goodwill is all amongst it. I'm not sure if he's finished his Far Cry stream yet or not, but his Far Cry stream was hilarious. And if all else fails and you want to watch a middle-aged man lose his mind, you could always watch Paul try and play Sonic. Because that really is funny. I personally am not one for rage quitting, or indeed raging at a computer game full stop. I find death half the fun. Oh my god, I'm actually going to beat her. Come on, son. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! It's a very early win for a Fury sister.
Yes.
Really is.
The ancient blood. Achilles might know what to do with this.
Okay, so I thought Meg was going to kill me there.
How did you?
We've got a little bit longer, guys. Not much longer.
I don't think I've gone this far.
The jump in damage taken from Tartarus to Asphodel is massive. Asphodel's kind of the Greek limbo, so to speak. Tartarus is like the lowest depths of hell. It's where Zeus, nice view, imprisoned the Titans after the Titanomachy War, whereby Zeus rose up against Kronos, his father, who had been eating or trying to eat him and his siblings. And they waged a bloody war that the Olympians won, with all of the Titans and the Cyclopses and all the other great big sort of primordial chthonic beasts that existed before the Olympians got imprisoned. Then Asphodel is, like, believe it or not, it's limbo. They weren't very chill, the Greeks. You know, this is most of the more modern religions tend to take the concept of limbo or purgatory or whatever it might be as being like a little bit boring and a little bit of meh. Not the Greeks, boys and girls, lakes of fire. That's the midpoint. Oh, Goodwill is still on with Far Cry. Yeah, I've watched a couple of Goodwill's Far Cry streams, and that boy is hilarious. The bit in the first one where the bull just comes out of nowhere and wrecks his truck. I'm still hoping that said bull will come back for vengeance. Because the bull didn't die. No, Goodwill got out of that car and he sharp made for the exit. And I think much the same as Resi. He's going to end up with some kind of bizarre nemesis bull stalking him through Far Cry 6. Okay, so this is pretty interesting, guys. Because now that I'm a very experienced player on Hades, this is probably a bit easier than it oh, thank... Oh no, I thought it was health. Okay, with 3 health left, there really isn't much to this choice. It's very highly unlikely that I am going to make it out of the next one. So, once again, thank you everybody for watching. Subscribe to all of the things that have Nerdy Up North on them, because it's all us, and we are just here to have fun. I've just been killed by a goddamn Gorgon. I say a Gorgon. There's only one Gorgon sister that actually ended up like Medusa. There were 3 of them. 2 immortal... No, 1 immortal and 2 mortal. And somebody might want to correct me on that one. Medusa punished for being pretty. Bit harsh if you ask me. But yeah, they even in this game they're kind of depicting Gorgons in the snake-haired Gorgon respective things as being multiple, and in fact there is only one Gorgon with snaky hair, and that was Medusa. Hanging on by the skin of my bloody teeth here. Yeah, I'll be proud of myself if I make it as far as the Hydra. I had to grind these levels on my first save game, and that was without God Mode enabled too. Something's about somewhere.
You have slain more than 100 foes since you began your quest. You have, for I am keeping count, and I am most impressed.
Cheers, dude. Take a damage boost. Still hanging on by the skin of my teeth here.
Slam dancers.
God damn it. And he's gone. And back to the House of Hades we go. That was pretty good for a run that early in the game, but as we will see, as the game carries on, it's not always that easy. We've seen it before. We've seen me get nerfed. We've seen me get stitched up. We've seen me actually fail a run through on these streams. So now we've had a little bit of an introduction and we've unlocked a few characters. I'm going to sign off for tonight. But the next time I play Hades, I am going to play this save game again. And do my homework a little bit. Refamiliarise myself with some of the stories. And we can have bedtime stories with Grant. Featuring all your favourite kidnappings from ancient Greece. And a good few tragedies as well. I do love a good Greek tragedy, and they are numerous. So,
Wonder where Nyx went.
oh, there's Meg. Let's leave this with hot Meg.
The prodigal son returns. Everyone's saying I went easy on you, Zag.
Don't worry, Meg. I eventually managed to get home the painful way after all.
Look, I have a reputation to uphold. You get past me again like that, you best go all the way. Now leave me be, and don't think you're gonna be so lucky next we meet out there.
So we'll leave it with Hop Megara. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been Grant from Nerdy Up North podcast. Signing off for the night. Thank you for joining me.